All right, everybody. Welcome to Word on the Street, powered by Lean Solutions Group. I'm Trey Griggs, and we are live on YouTube. What is up? Greg Roberts, Robert Bain, Aaron Smetic, others rolling in. Looks like Coleman Ruffin's about to jump in. How is everybody today? Everybody good?
Wonderbar.
Good, good.
God, it's Friday.
Excellent. It's Friday. It's Friday. Oh, come on, Coleman, get in here. Kyle McNaught, come on in. In a minute. Rolling in my 5.0 with my rag top down so my hair can blow. The girlie's on standby waiting just to say hi. Did you stop? No, I just drove. I kept on. It's amazing. 30 years ago, it's like clockwork. Like no big deal. Isn't that crazy? How music works like that? Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. So tell me, everybody, what happened this week? Something good. Tell me something good happened, Coleman. What happened with you, man?
Geez, something good? Got a
Something
new
good.
car? I think
What?
that's kind of cool. Yeah.
That is pretty good news. Now,
Yeah, I mean, technically it was Sunday. Technically it was Sunday, but I'll
that
roll
works. Hey, the first day of the week is Sunday. You're good. Did you get a new car because you hurt your other one, or was it just time to upgrade?
It's time to upgrade. Being out here in Colorado, we need something that was ready for the mountains. So upgraded from a little Toyota Camry to a Tacoma.
Oh, nice. 4-door?
Yep.
Yeah, attaboy.
Oh, yeah.
Attaboy. That's a good truck. My dad's had that truck for 14 years. He had an 07 that is just – actually, his is a Tundra. Let me correct that. He got the Tundra.
I was going to say, this truck, assuming you take care of it, it'll probably outlive me, so I'll take it.
Nice. That's awesome. Sergio Hernandez back in the house. What's up, brother? Coming to us from Barranquilla, where they're under major lockdown in Colombia right now. Every city down there is just it's unfortunate. And Adam Robinson back in the house. What's up, buddy? How are you? Maybe they'll join us in a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I was gonna say, it always throws you for a roll when you join.
I don't know how to work Zoom. My bad. I was
still figuring it out.
Yeah, man, this whole Zoom thing is weird. But hello, welcome. Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me.
What's up, buddy? Adam Robinson of the Adam Robinson Agency, everybody. Or is it the Robin Agency? Like, what's
the Robinson Agency?
There you go, the Robinson Agency. Very good.
I've decided to take my talents and bring them to the world, man. Why should they be limited to just Freightways or Cerasis or Turvo? Let's let everybody.
Talents to South Beach. Is that what we're doing?
That's right, baby. Little Bill O'Brien announcement here today.
Nice. Where's the jerseys and the dancers? What's up, man? Where's the production
Yo, check
quality?
this out.
Whoa,
I ain't even BSing, man. This is like some serious art right here. Yeah, man. Like
not messing around.
This is where we're going. We're going to greatness, y'all. We're doing
it.
Man,
is that the poster from the Wheaties box? Because I gotta say, back in the day in '88, I literally bought Wheaties, got the poster out of the box, put it up on my wall. Was that the Wheaties poster? Or did you get that later in life, my friend?
That's by an artist who does hand-drawn pencil drawings. That's all pencil drawings.
Wow, that's cool.
Of like famous sports things.
And I saw that. You have that? Like, how did you get that?
I just called the dude up. They were sold out. My wife just reached out to him, and I was able to get one.
Holy moly!
Power.
She got me 4 of them.
Sometimes, you know.
I'm jealous. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
You want to know what's crazy? I bought 3, and he gave me the Jordan one for free.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now if you don't want to share, it's fine. But how much per picture? What was kind of what's the going rate for a pencil drawing these days?
Because of the time, it was about $4,000 each.
Wow, that's cool though. I mean, that's a lot of work. I mean, I've seen those guys do that. That is a lot of work. It's tremendous though. Like the detail that's in there, absolutely amazing. So cool. Yeah.
Well, the Jordan one's a reprint though. So.
Okay, nice. Nick Rumor, Racquelle, what's up? How are you guys doing?
Hello.
Everyone good? Yeah. Racquelle had a book drop this last week. What?
Yes.
Pretty cool. Had a chapter in that book, which I haven't read yet. I'm sorry, I have not read it, but I did download it. I did get my free copy, which is great. For the rest of you that missed it, suckers, you have to buy one. So that's how that works. But that's all right. When's the book available on Amazon to purchase?
The book's available to purchase on Amazon. I get my books to sell from next weekend. I'll have.
Is it better to buy direct from Racquelle or Amazon? What's the
to support me? Yeah.
I mean, but no, like do you get more money if we buy from you? Like, because that's important.
Yes,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
Well,
get
then
any
that's what we should
proceeds
do.
from Amazon.
So,
They go to the
so
book project manager.
we should blast it out. We should put your email out there and get some traffic for you. So that'll be great.
Awesome. Thanks.
Very cool. Very cool. Big news. Big news. It's awesome. Well, everybody, listen. We've got Adam here of the Robinson Agency, and so and Robert Bussey. Well, thanks for joining us on YouTube. I think you guys are like the first people on YouTube. How about that? We actually have people on YouTube watching. So we're moving up in the world, y'all.
Yeah.
That's where this is going. But we've got Adam with us today, and Adam, I want you to tell us a little bit about what you're doing now with the Robinson Agency. And then we have a poll today to talk about marketing in transportation, because it's a topic I've been talking about a lot. Adam's been talking about a lot. We don't see a lot of companies doing it. So we're going to talk about that. But before that, Adam, tell us about the Robinson Agency.
Yeah, I think one of the things that a lot of companies have been lacking is not finding great marketers in the space, but finding great marketers who also understand the particulars of freight. And in order to, extract out of the minds of leaders and get, into a content marketing program, seems easy at face value. Let's just start writing and publish a blog. Let's spin up a podcast. But the problem is that if you do those things alone without strategy, good messaging, and putting your customer at the heart of everything you do, and creating alignment between not only sales and marketing, but also customer service and leadership, right? If you don't have this common message from your company that you're putting out there that truly speaks with relevance to your target audience, it's easy to get attention, and it's a lot harder to get people to actually act and become a lead and become a customer. And in order to do that, you really have to take an integrated marketing approach. You want to think of marketing today as a lot like a supply chain. A lot of you guys work in freight. And so you understand that in order to get to the freight part, you also, maybe it's an OEM that you're working with. They have to source raw materials. They have to then manufacture or produce that. They then, in order to operationalize and commercialize, have to figure out distribution channels. And they have to meet now in an omni-channel approach exactly where their customer is going to be, whether that's in store, online, at a warehouse, at a retail shop. And so some of these manufacturers end up hiring freight brokers. Why? Because freight brokers are going to do a better job at finding capacity, setting up those channels, and delivering at a price, at a service level, and at a time requirement that meets the needs that they've promised to the customer. It's very sophisticated, and the best supply chains of today are integrating all of that together in a very strategic, thoughtful way. The supply chain is no longer a siloed off position or department away from the leadership. They're in fact working with leadership and customer service and marketing and sales in order to put together a whole company supply chain vision to use the supply chain as their competitive advantage, so that when their customer receives it, the customer feels like, holy shit, this was a really great experience. It was efficient. It was transparent. I was updated the entire way. I didn't have to pay for shipping, or shipping was not that bad. And they were delivering products to me on time. And a world that we're living in today with so much volatility and complexity, all that sounds pretty easy, right? But it's a lot more complex. And that's why freight brokers are involved. And so kind of like what a freight broker does, the Robinson Agency is here to kind of play as a quarterback, if you will, or offensive coordinator, to bring all of those players together in order to develop that right strategy. And it starts with core messaging. What's our brand messaging? What's our value? And then who is our target audience? And it's getting back to those fundamentals, right? We see a lot of people out here spinning wheels, chasing dopamine. They got a podcast that doesn't tie back to their website, and they're not building any equity, right? Marketing's a lot like real estate as well. So equity today, the reason you can build equity in your home still is not because of the home, but because the land it sits upon. And largely the land in the history of the world, the technology and the way that land has changed is not different today than it was 2,000 years ago. It's born out of fundamentals, right? And I think a lot of companies are not doing that fundamental work on the front end to make everything after that flow through. And so once you have that messaging aspect really solidified, you're able then to start aligning back to your website, where you can build equity in search engines, in website visits, in subscribers, in getting people to download your white paper, that you then can use different mechanisms like blogging to rank in search engines. So people searching freight broker services, you show up. And that's a pretty efficient close, by the way, because they already know what you do exactly what they're looking for, and you're able to close them more efficiently. You're able to nurture people over time because your doing email marketing because they've signed up to receive your stuff and you're developing relationships over time. And that's going to give you air cover for your business development, because then you can use your analytics and your marketing tech stack to understand who's opening those and integrate that into your CRM. So it gives a notification to your sales team so they can say, hey, Bob, saw you downloaded this white paper or opened up this email. You know, you and I talked about the lack of capacity and some challenges that you're having. And so we put together this piece of content that helps you with 7 tips on ways to procure capacity more efficiently. By the way, we do that stuff, so we should talk. But it's really all about consistent execution. Strategy don't mean shit if you can't actually execute that strategy. And execution doesn't mean anything if you can't use the analytics to improve that execution over time. And in the world of freight and the world of supply chain, you're going to have marketers, and you're maybe at a company going to have people try to outsource marketing. And you're going to find somebody who's very capable at marketing. But in the world of freight, it's just different. If people who come in from the marketing world don't understand intimately the differences in order management, warehouse management, and freight management, and oh yeah, in truckload there's spot and there's contract, and in truckload there's dry van and reefer and flatbed, and oh yeah, what's a gooseneck, what's a multi-stop, you know, what's a lift gate, things like that, right? I mean, just little things that if you create content that speaks with relevance to that target audience in the world of freight, we some blue collar folks, we're going to call out the bullshit. We're going to call it out. We see what you're doing. You're trying to rank in search engines, and that's exactly what it feels like. It's flaccid. It is flat. It does not
flaccid. I don't know what that word means.
Use that word twice today. I've used it twice today. Just
okay.
I know Robert Bain knows what it means.
Anybody else? We're looking this one up. Anyone else?
Don't Google it. Do not Google it. Don't Google it.
I love it.
Robert knows why you don't Google it.
So Adam, let me ask you a question. Are you going to be focusing only on transportation supply chain? Or are you going to spread your wings and go to anybody? What's your focus?
Well, at the end of the day, there's 3 core industries that are exactly trying to do the same thing. The supply chain, facilities management, and restaurant technology. They're all trying to deliver a stellar customer experience. So supply chain is trying to deliver goods primarily to an end buyer or consumer and make that process cost effective, and where the customer says, I'm surprised and delighted by this logistics experience. Maybe first really pushing the market was Amazon to do that. But all of us, even if we don't like Amazon's labor practices, you are still going to say, holy crap, my daughter has something on Monday, it's Saturday, I'm going to order from Amazon. No matter what Jeff Bezos does, he's got you. Number 2, facilities management. The reason Target beat out and buried Kmart was because when you went into that facility as a customer, it was brighter. It felt good. Everything worked. The bathrooms were clean. When you step into Target, facilities management is now your initial customer experience. And when those people work with the logistics and supply chain folks, you can create a company like Target, who doesn't get talked a lot about when it comes into the world of Amazon and Walmart, but Target is slowly creeping up on both of those. And companies like Shopify are really extending that same experience. But then you get into the restaurant tech space, right? So I have a client called Tacit Innovations, and what do? They actually help restaurants integrate all of the different varying ordering channels into the point of sale. Is that any different than integrating a TMS into an ERP? Not really. Those are just data flows and API calls so that you can operationalize your tech stack in order to achieve the strategic goal of having a customer, and primarily rapidly accelerated during the pandemic, just like we saw on our side with e-commerce. People are going to Uber Eats and DoorDash and curbside, and it's called omni-channel. So they're just delivering food instead of product, but they're all doing the same thing, and that's delivering a customer experience. And so for me in the world, right, I sit there and get a lot of ease knowing that at the end of the day, we all want efficient commerce with companies we love where it's really easy. And if that's walking into a store, it better look good, facilities management. If that's getting my goods in one day and having radical transparency around that, that's what I want in the supply chain. When it comes to my food, I want to know that it's safe, that I can stay in my car, that somebody's going to bring it to me and I can continue to be lazy. We're all trying to achieve the same thing. So I'm going to work in all 3 of those sectors.
That's awesome. Well, focusing on transportation, I think we would agree that most transportation companies suck at marketing. It's just kind of the way it is. In fact, we're going to take a poll real quick while we listen to a little bit of Nate Dogg and Warren G. And I want to get your take on marketing and transportation in particular. And today's 90s hip hop day, by the way, everybody, because we've got some
my favorite day.
news. And so, but it's 90s hip hop. So here we go. A little Nate Dogg and Warren G with little regulators. Nick Rumor, turn your camera on, man. You're not on the show when your camera's not on, my friend. Show us the family. Unless you're in the bathroom, and then don't turn it on. That's the one thing we're not go that route.
That escalated quickly.
Mount up. It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the scene, trying to consume. Better try to announce about copyright issues. I get a lot of copyright issues sometimes with some of these, but we're live.
Yeah, YouTube will hit you quick.
YouTube's gonna hit you hard. They're not gonna knock you down.
We did this. Like I've been pulled off of YouTube for with YouTube in a production.
We're
truck.
way under the radar, Kyle. Way under the radar. Right now.
No, not for YouTube. That algo find you if you search
That's
it.
true. It might. That's true. We'll see how that goes. But by the way, anybody else feel really stupid when Adam starts talking? Like, dude, you're so smart about some of these things. So impressed, man. Appreciate the education. I'm going to look up flaccid here in a minute.
Don't do it.
I feel stupid all the time. It's not just around Adam, so it's fine.
Par for the course.
This big dumb animal.
Hey, man, I'll beat the brains, you beat the brawn, Robert. So we got it.
If they don't like the message, I'll beat it into them. So it works out well.
All right, close the poll. Here's the results. Let's talk through this. Question 1 that I asked for those watching in. Number 1, if you're in transportation, supply chain logistics, does your company have a marketing budget? 6 of you say yes. That's actually higher than I thought it would be. 1 no, and 2 of you aren't in the industry. So out of the 7 that are, 6 have it. That's pretty high. I was much higher than I would have thought. Question 2, if you're in transportation, supply chain logistics, and your company has a marketing budget, does your company have marketing personnel and staff? Same thing. Yeah, they do. That actually does that surprise you, Adam? That surprises me because when I talk to a lot of transportation companies, they often pawn this off on the sales leader. Like they say, hey, you do some marketing activities. I don't find a lot of marketing professionals in transportation. Does that surprise you or no? Yeah, we'll think about it a little longer. All right. Number 3, should transportation companies have a marketing strategy? All of you say absolutely. 1 of you say depends on what they're doing. I think a lot of transportation companies question that. Like, do we really need a marketing strategy? What do we need to do? I mean, what do you guys think about that?
But everybody should have a marketing strategy. Even if you're a one-man band, you need to know what you're doing. And
we know a one-man band who's doing a great job of marketing, don't we? Yeah, Mr. Ramos, he's killing it.
So my thought on it is whether it's a personal brand, whether it's a company, or there needs to be a succinct message. I always kind of think back to, and some of it was by accident, right? CRST. If you're in transportation, the gold trucks, you've seen them. And you see a gold truck going on, even if it's one that's been resold, you assume at one time or another that thing's been in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. They did that accidentally, essentially. The gold truck now is a big deal. It's across all their branding. It's a really important piece of what they do. And I think that's, if the more intentional you are, the more that accelerates. So kind of what Adam was talking about, when you have, yes, I'm going to do this marketing thing, whether it's a podcast, whether it's web advertising, search engine optimization, whatever I'm going to do, if I have a strategy behind it and it's deliberate, it accelerates all my efforts. And again, that's coming from the guy who's not a marketing expert. So, very high level, but at the end of the day, if you're deliberate about something and you're consistent with it, the results do come after that. And that's what I think is incredibly important for transportation companies, because we work in a arena that, you have to differentiate. And sometimes that differentiation is I just know who the hell you are.
Yeah, no, that's true. I've actually seen that quite a bit with our own Chris Jolly. Speaking of which, where is Chris Jolly? Does anybody know where in the world is Chris Jolly again? Late to the party.
Minutes.
Somebody text him. We should all text him right now and blast his phone. He's probably working.
It's like Carmen Sandiego, man. Where in the world is Chris Jolly?
That's kind of how it's
in the supply
lately
chain is Chris Jolly.
With Chris Jolly, that's right. That's kind of what's happened. But Chris has done a really good job of being consistent about that, sharing what he knows. And, I don't get to watch all of his videos. I'm sure some are better than others, but the fact that he's consistent has made the difference for him. And now he was telling me that he has more people now calling him to move their freight than he did when he was a freight broker. And it's because of the messaging, it's because of the marketing, it's because of the expertise and the familiarity and all those things that come along with his consistency. He's now seeing that where if he wanted to open a freight brokerage now, he'd do better probably now than he did as a freight broker before because of the marketing aspect of what he's doing. So I think that's,
he's given himself opportunity, you know, and I think that's one of the things that in the journey at Saris is from scratch to then at the end after 8 years, the amount of opportunities to amplify your message because you were consistent with your cadence and you executed every day. You know, it's like Robert, you didn't get to lifting those weights day one. You put in the work to get to that level. You know, and I call it the
ask the right
business.
people and they'll say, I'm gonna put a needle.
I don't know. I think Robert might have been born that way. I think he may have been born with dumbbells at the time. I don't know.
Oh, superior genetics, but not quite that superior.
You know, it's a Maslow hierarchy of needs. You know, it's just like your own life. You know, if you don't have food, clothing, shelter, and you don't have as a child, you know, the attention that you need from your parents and the guidance, it really becomes much more difficult to go up that hierarchy right there. And that is all about the same thing with marketing. You don't have to like come in and be lifting 500 pounds day one. You just have to start lifting and you have to put in the work and keep doing it. And with the smart guys, they'll get, you know, some help or start working on how they fundamentally change their body to support that initiative of becoming a power lifter, you know? So exactly, the compound effect.
It's the compound effect, right? It's like that cheeseburger that you're going to eat today is not going to, you know, hurt your health too much, but it's a cheeseburger that you eat every day that puts you in a bad spot and vice versa. So
it's on it.
But why only one? Why would you limit yourself? That
the
cheeseburgers
what I want that you're going to eat today are not going to hurt you. It's the cheeseburgers that you eat every day. No, that's so true. I think the compound effect is huge, and we kind of take that for granted. But we all participated in it, whether we know it or not. You participate in it positively or negatively, whether you know it or not. It's just the way that life works. So
that's the way it is. What you say that like you're spot on, Trey. Because when people say, for example, and I think that's the same with marketing. When people say like, I'm not into sales. I'm not in sales. No, we're all in sales.
Everybody.
Even if you're a mom,
That's
a mom
right.
of two, you're selling your kids to eat their food, to clean
It's
their
just
room.
the hardest freaking sale there is. Let me just tell you right now.
That's right.
Way more difficult to sell technology or something else. I'll tell you that.
I think brokers and everything else, you should start hiring moms, because that's it. Moms and stay-at-home dads. That's it. But I think that's the same. You know, like when I say like we're all in sales, I think the same thing with marketing. We're all in marketing. Whether some are better than others, but we're all in marketing. We're all trying to market ourselves towards, you know, finding a date. You know, like doing stuff for work professionally and like personally. We're all in marketing. We're all in sales, but others are better at it than.
You go hand in hand for sure.
Yeah, well, we're all the brand, right? Like even with operations, like I'm not in operations, I'm in marketing, but how I work is kind of how the customer is going to view how our operation works. So it's the brand. It's not just your sales, your marketing, you're everything. Especially like your personal brand matters too. I mean, you look at kind of what's happening in the sports world with the college kids. I know that's what I keep bringing up on this call, but like their personal brand matters. It's kind of what everyone on this call right now is about, their personal brand, right? We're all out here, we're doing a video thing. We're not just staying anonymous for a reason.
Did anybody see what the PGA Tour did this week? Anybody see that in the news?
Was genius. Yeah,
they came up with a $40 million bonus pool that's not based on their performance. It's based upon their marketing. It's based upon how well they're advertising the game and representing the game and engaging with fans and their Google search results. Like they're taking these metrics into play and putting $40 million annually towards that for really only 10 players. The top 10 players are the ones that earn it, not everybody. So, you know, people want to fight to get into that. Like Ricky Fowler, the complaint about Ricky Fowler is he doesn't win enough, but everybody knows who Ricky Fowler is and people buy his stuff and kids want to dress like him. He's like the most marketable guy on the PGA Tour outside of Tiger Woods. You know, and so the PGA Tour is saying, hey, we're not going to take this 40 million and give it to our developmental tours, which they definitely could, and make that a better path for those players. We're not going to put this into something else. We're going to put it into marketing our brand, you know, and how we're perceived. And we're going to use our players to do that. And the ones that do the best, we're going to give money to. I mean, I think that's so important that we realize that if companies like that are going to do that and brands like that are going to invest that kind of money into it, your personal brand and your company brand are quite important. You know, very, very important. So
Well, I was on a call with the Journal of Commerce today, and they're looking to, hire somebody to run marketing, and I can't be it because of the non-compete I have with FreightWaves. But I'm able to have conversations, of course, and I said to him, look, Eric Johnson has done a hell of a job at his own personal branding, and he extends that into his log tech event, the way he interacts on Twitter, just the way he is as a journalist. And I would say that you guys have probably, if you looked at Eric Johnson's articles, they'd outperform anybody else's, not because he's any better than any other writer per se, but because he's built up such equity in his community that is built around Eric Johnson. And so I'm more likely to read whatever Eric Johnson puts out, whatever he's writing, because I like Eric and he's become that face. Trey, people might hear more about lean staffing. And I know, that's exactly what folks, because of Trey, right? Am I not supposed to say that?
No, I appreciate that. That's so kind.
A shameless plug, bro.
It was a nice.
But I mean,
surprise.
Kyle, you're the same extension, and I think you're doing that for your company.
Don't you put that voodoo on me. I am not.
He's going
I
around
want
the
to be
room
a
now.
producer. Here's the difference, right? I want to be behind the camera. I believe wholeheartedly in the trusted sources thing. I agree with everything you're saying, but I want my ops people. I want the people that have the knowledge to be out there talking. Problem is, they're doing the job. So it's kind of like, how do you incentivize them? How do you kind of trick them into doing stuff? I essentially just throw them on camera all the time and they're never ready for it. But it's kind of that, how do you produce it for them? How do you kind of get them to do that thing? Because you and I, Adam, know how to jump on a camera, right? We know how to talk.
Yeah.
We know what we're looking for. That's kind of the tricky thing in marketing right now. How do you get your actual trusted sources in front of the camera talking, but doing it at the cadence that they have to, because it's so much work. You got to do what Jay's doing. You got to be.
Let me give a shameless
constantly.
plug for that, because we actually just did that. So one of the big positions that we're hiring now that we didn't hire for before is carrier sales. It's become a huge need for companies. They need more bodies in order to find capacity, and they, all those kind of things. And so, we've been working on that. And what we did was we hired somebody who did carrier sales for 8 years, and he's now leading that department and doing a tremendous job, Isaac Moreno. Well, we have two options. I can either talk about carrier sales to people. I've never done carrier sales. Right?
Okay.
But I know Chris Jolly's here. I'm not giving him attention right now. He's late to the party, whatever.
I am.
Anyways, so Isaac Moreno has done this job for 7 years. I've never been a carrier sales rep. So should I talk about it, or should I get Isaac to talk about it with me? So instead of just throwing him on the camera and saying, Isaac, tell people about carrier sales, we've actually been doing webinars where I interview him. And so I'm able to kind of take the structure and the professionalism that I know and just bring him in and let him just share, feed him softball questions and let him share his expertise and make it easy for him. And now people are going to be like, wow, Lean has a specialist for carrier sales. They know what they're doing. This guy knows what he's talking about. And so it makes a huge difference. So to your point, Kyle, putting our expert, our specialists, our experts front and center in the camera is really important than just me constantly saying, we do carrier sales, we're great at carrier sales. Like, it's a different conversation and it's received differently by putting them in front of the camera, but doing it in a way that isn't uncomfortable. That's just a conversation. It's just kind of fun. And that's worked really well for us. So with that said, welcome, Chris Jolly. It's good to finally see you, man.
What's
everybody,
up, man?
Everybody,
yeah, sorry, my
my
schedule was thrown off 30 minutes because I was waiting for a call back from you last night at 5 o'clock Central, like you said. So
yikes!
Everything's been delayed.
Did we talk last night?
No, you called me and then I called you back, and then you said I'm on a call till 5, and I said call me at 5, and you said okay, sounds good. And then
that didn't happen. Yeah. Well, let me explain myself. I was exhausted.
What happened?
I don't even remember that. Like, I'm embarrassed now, but I was so exhausted from my trip to Florida this week. Whoops, my bad.
My dad does.
I'm exhausted from being at the beach, guys. Sorry.
I was not at the beach. We're at Coral Springs. Look on a map. We're close to the Everglades. We're not on the beach.
Trey, you were just in Vegas. So was I. How did we not get Chris Jolly to drive up there so the three of us
could? I called him. He said, nah.
Yeah.
He said, no, I'm not coming up there.
Let's put the context, the whole truth of that text. My dad came to visit me for the first time in 10 years last week. And I
said, bring him,
So he's up there this week, but I needed to keep him away from my brother. I needed that, one-on-one time with my old man for the first time in a decade. My bad, Trey.
Yeah, priorities. It's all priorities. That's what it is.
So selfish. So selfish of me.
So good. Well, I'm glad you're here, man. We were actually just talking about personal brand and consistency, and how you were telling me that people are now calling you to help move freight more than when you're an actual freight broker.
Correct.
Because of your marketing, because of your messaging and all
it's
that.
Insane. actually the amount of shippers that are reaching out to me to move their freight right now. It really is.
Yeah.
And I I deliver the message to all of my clients, no matter what, transparency and honesty will always win in this game. If you go in there and you can't commit to something because you don't have the capabilities, that is not a negative in their eyes. They actually appreciate that. But brokers, we are so notorious for just saying fucking yes to everything and then realizing we can't do it. And then we're like, why'd the customer get pissed off that I gave 5 loads back that I said I could do? It's ridiculous.
Actually, Jolly, like, so yesterday I was having a roundtable with clients and one of them brought up, he's like, you go to a restaurant and they'll tell you the wait time. And like, you're not pissed because they tell you it's 40 minutes. You're happy that they told you it's 40. It's like, you talk to brokers and they do the exact opposite where they don't know what else going on. They're like, why the hell is this? And these shippers were like, yeah, I'm pissed about that. Like,
under
why
promise
can't you get at a restaurant?
That's right. I was gonna say, you are pissed if they say 10 minutes. You know, if they say 10 minutes and it's 40, then you're like, we're out of here. What the, you know, but if they say 40 and it's 25, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. You know? So it's all about expectations and managing expectations. So true. Last question on the quiz, then we're going to move on. Question 4, is there a disconnect between sales teams and marketing teams in the industry? Maybe it's a bad question, and I didn't even put a question mark on it. So, you know, my bad on that. But I'm actually surprised by the results. 8 of you say no, there's no disconnect between sales and marketing. I find that quite common when I talk to people, that there's a huge disconnect between the sales and marketing teams and not really working together. So I don't know. Tell me why you think that there's no disconnect.
There is a disconnect because most brokers don't even have a marketing team. So they're like, that sales and marketing are the same thing. Brokerages don't have a marketing department. Are you kidding me? There's like 12 that do.
Yeah, I know. We see a lot of them. I think the average for the top 100 brokers, the average number of marketers is like 1.7 staff, full FTEs in marketing, because they just don't. To me, it's just not a focus. So, anyways,
with the meetings I'm having, there's some pretty big size brokerages that don't have marketing for sure.
Yeah, it's really crazy, really crazy. Okay, everybody. So we're going to transition from talking about marketing in the industry and highlighting the Robinson Agency, which we're super pumped to see where you go with that, to going to our next segment of Black History Month all year long. I got to tell you guys, I'm actually this has been a really great segment. I've enjoyed this. This has been kind of a personal thing that I do every week to prep for this, is I get to learn about people who accomplish things that I probably never would have accomplished otherwise. And so today we're going to highlight somebody that you might have heard of, maybe not. This is from way back in the 1800s, late 1800s, a gentleman named Granville T. Woods. How many of you are familiar with Granville T. Woods? You ever heard that name before?
It's been a while.
Chris has? Okay. So this guy's really fascinating. He was born in 1856. He was an inventor who actually rivaled Thomas Edison. Some of the things that he came up with, and he was more focused on, he was an electrical engineer, mechanical engineer. He really focused on the railroads at that time and how to make the railroads more productive. He had a lot of patents. In fact, he had several patents and inventions that Thomas Edison actually sued him for, saying that he stole it from him, but all the notes and all of the documents, he actually beat Edison twice in those lawsuits. And when he did, Edison offered him a job and he said, no, thanks. I don't want to work for you. And good for him for not doing that. But, but pretty interesting inventor. He actually had the first concept for a gasoline electric engine automobile in the 1900s. He kind of started working on the concept of a hybrid engine way back then, believe it or not, and did a lot of work with electricity, with telephones, with telegraphs and all that. And a kind of a lesser known inventor, but somebody who, like, I think it's good to highlight some of these things, because I think our history books often do a terrible job of pointing some of these out, as we see that, you know, most of you have never even heard of him before. But pretty fascinating guy. I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off here, but I'm going to go ahead and put the Wikipedia link for this, and there's a couple of other sources as well that you can check out about Granville T. Woods, but pretty fascinating to learn about him. He's in a couple of other history sources that you can see, but Granville T. Woods, incredible inventor. Can you guys imagine the hybrid engine even being considered in the early 1900s? And here we are 100 years later, still kind of trying to figure out the best way forward with that, you know, making progress. But it wasn't until 20 years ago. When did the first hybrid vehicle actually come out? The Prius, and was that late 1900s or was that 2000s?
Probably early.
I thought it was like 90s, maybe late 90s close.
I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, so Granville T. Woods, incredible inventor, and rivaled Thomas Edison. So pretty cool. All right. Okay. So with that said, we need to transition real quick to a new segment, or not a new segment, but another segment of this week in pictures. We got a lot to talk about this week. Some really cool things coming up here. I'm going to share my screen so we can chit chat about this. There's some chatter going on in the chat box there. Okay. All right, moving on.
Dad joke. There's some chatter in the chat box.
There's some chatter in the chat box. What's going on? All right, where's it at here? Give me a second. Let me find this. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. There we go. Here we go. First photo right out of the gate, everybody, is we got to talk about what happened in Vegas this week. Here we got Beefcake Bain. I want to know what's going on in this picture. Is this pre-lift? Is this post-lift? Give us a little insight into what is going on here.
Sure. So this is me as I'm actually platform managing. So this is one of the things that I do. One of the big things I'm known for. The blue elbow sleeves specifically are called out because I use those as the safety apparatus. But I also hype up every single lifter as they come up for lifts to the point where I lose my voice. If you catch me on a Monday after a meet, I can barely speak.
Nice. Hype man. I like that.
So this here was, I was getting kind of a, hey, thanks for all the hype for this big weekend. It was our APF women's pro-am a couple weekends ago. And I did the whole, gladiator thing. Are you not entertained? And someone caught this as I was yelling it. So
that's awesome. So you were the hype man. You were basically just getting everybody pumped up and ready to go.
That is what I've been known for. It got caught on ESPN a couple years ago, and now it's just kind of taken off. So
ESPN awesome. Ocho? Which one? Which one were you on?
It was on the ESPN, the platform.
The actual, just one of this somewhere. Just somewhere.
Yeah, if you go back to the 2019 WPO Super Finals, the video is on YouTube because it's done with ESPN's time with it. And you can hear me throughout the whole thing, like basically playing announcer because there was not an in-arena announcer. There was one of the TV announcers you can hear on the broadcast.
Interesting. Well, now this was in Vegas, everybody. So this wasn't the only activity that took place in Vegas.
Yep.
We have a few more pictures here of what happened. So need a little explanation of this right here. Nice little, I don't know if that's what you went with, what you came back with. What is that there?
That is part of what I came back with.
What? A lot of ones in that stack.
Really, X-ray.
A lot of ones over there.
Those were, they had purpose.
Those little ones had a purpose.
Just tips. Just tips. There's some Benjamins around here. There's a couple of,
college is expensive, man.
Hey,
after paying for my entire weekend, all entertainment, food, all that kind of stuff, I ended up about $600 up for the whole weekend.
Ah, well,
oh yeah,
congratulations.
A bad one, that's for sure.
Yeah,
that's
well
impressive.
Done. Okay, now this picture is one of my favorites. I wish I could commentate on this. It looks like you guys are taking a piss out the window. What is going on here? What is happening? I mean, especially your friend. He's got his hands, grouped together in front of him. I don't know what's going on there.
So both of us are holding drinks. It's 9:00 in the morning, and we're drinking. That's what you do in Vegas. And so we're just kind of hiding the drinks. But no, so Drew and I have been together. He's kind of my right-hand man for going on 5 years now. We met at the gym. We connected immediately, and we've just done, aside from my wife, he's done more life with me than anybody else. And
all right,
we just get to share in each other's successes and have fun. And as you can see, our room is not small, and we were just thinking back to some times where we're a little leaner, and it was fun.
Did you like remotely take this picture, or was somebody in there snapping this picture?
So actually the guy who makes all of my supportive equipment, he runs Overkill Strength Systems. He actually shared the room with us. And so he saw us standing there and he took this picture. I'm like, I love this picture. So
nice.
And then, I like that every person that's seen has gone, are you guys peeing?
Yeah, exactly. I like the perspective though, in some ways, like of thinking, but it could have been done differently than this particular pose. I think maybe more from the side, something next time. But anyways, great story.
You get the mountains in the background, like it's dope.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm just saying.
The fact that your guys' mind goes there, that's your issue, not mine.
Looks like you guys are taking a piss on the people walking on the street. That's all it looks like. It's all I'm saying.
You should definitely tell people that that's what you were doing. For sure.
That's right. How to get past the window? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then this just looked like fun. So I had to include this from your. Yeah. Did you guys grill this out at a friend's house in town, or like where was this?
This was dinner last night.
Oh, this was just last night? You sent me a picture. I thought this was Vegas. I literally put a picture of your meal
dinner?
Last night.
Yes, Vegas was good to me. So some of the money.
It looks like something you would serve on the Flintstone.
It does. Bam, bam, right there. Nice.
Bam,
Excellent.
bam, bang.
Next to the
Bam,
fire.
bam, bang. Bam, nice. Got a new one. Bam, bam, bang. I love it. Beefcake, bam, bam. All right, so we got a few more pictures. We got a few more things in the news that happened this week. Some personal things. So first of all, this weekend, my daughter Naomi, right there, was a stump in the production of The Tale of Three Trees at church. And she had
That's cool.
singing parts. She had speaking parts. She's a fifth grader. Like, this is really kind of her thing. And so I wonder if you know what I'm gonna have to do real quick. Hang on, let me stop sharing real quick, because I think I forgot to share with volume. You guys need to hear this. I actually have the performance that I want you guys to take a quick listen to. So this is her mom and I, super proud afterwards. And then here we go. Let's see if we can get this on here. Are you guys hearing this?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. All right. Her friends, by the way, are right in front of us, and she didn't know they were going to be there. So when she sees them, it's kind of funny. Just give a little wave there. It's like, oh, my friends are right here. Multiple ways. I mean, several. This is interaction with the crowd. You know, she's really into it.
Done like a pro. Didn't even break stride at all.
So there's another girl singing just now. One of her friends was the other stump, and she didn't want to sing the solos. So Naomi got to sing the solos, and they did a little duet there. Which is pretty funny. And moving in this thing, as you can imagine, this was a big piece of cardboard wrapped around her, so it was pretty funny watching her try to run or walk around. Just a little more, guys. Just a little more. Yeah, more waves. More waves to the crowd. Okay, proud dad moment. Okay, all right, thank you for letting me share that. So exciting. She was so happy. This is her sport. She doesn't play any sports. She does musicals, year round. She's got another company that she works with throughout the year. So she's just getting into it and just absolutely loves all of it. So I really enjoyed it. So thank you for letting me share that. But that was pretty exciting this week. Yeah, she's very pumped about that. So this is fun. So normally, whenever you have these church productions in the past, somebody would videotape it in the back, and then they would create CDs or DVDs, and it would take like 3 weeks to get it back and all those kind of things. This year, because of COVID, the silver lining here is that we now stream everything every week. And so they were able to stream this on YouTube, and then we were able to come home and watch it immediately, which was really fun. So she got to kind of see it. I think she's watched it 6, 8, maybe 10 times at this point. Just really enjoys it. But it's a nice little silver lining from everything that now we can stream. And so everything's on YouTube, which is pretty cool. And people from around the world got to see it. Other big news this week, everybody. This is my, you can't see it right now, but this is my bookshelf right over here. I want to show you something new. So I got in my new car. So I don't collect a lot of stuff. I post about this on LinkedIn. I don't collect a lot of things. But this week, I got my newest Indy car here, this die-cast 118 replica of Takuma Sato's car from last year. He won the Indy 500 last year. I've been doing this for the last 4 years. I've got 4 cars now up there, and it's all in memory of my dad. My dad went to this race like 15 times, so that's a picture of my dad and I, like the best picture before he passed away about 16 years ago. We took that, and so I got my new car, so I'm super excited about that. That was big this week. I think it's just a good reminder that sometimes it's good to look back and just smile. Sometimes we're so focused on going forward and growing and moving. Sometimes it's just good to look back and say, yeah, I remember that. That was a sweet moment. That was pretty cool. So very excited about that. And now
maybe that car will say Blue Yonder next year.
You never know. I don't know.
Panasonic just bought them for $7 billion.
Did they really?
7.1 billion. Yeah.
Wow. Well, maybe it will. I don't know. We'll see. But so I'm excited. That race is actually in a month, so we'll be there. My sister is going this year. She's 48. She's never been, and she wants to understand why my dad loved it so much. So she's kind of in that phase in life where she's doing a little bit of that introspective thinking. And then Naomi, my 11-year-old, she's going to go as well because she wants to see it in person as well. So
that's awesome.
That's cool. So then we had the Derek Chauvin trial that culminated in guilty verdicts this week. All three counts were guilty. Very fascinating trial because of the public and the political pressure. There's definitely going to be appeals on this. We'll have to kind of see how it goes out, how it kind of works out. But that was a pretty interesting trial with politicians kind of saying what they were going to do if it went one way or went the other way, and a lot of political chatter going on right now. But fortunately, the bright news is that no businesses burned down. There wasn't any rioting. I think that's the silver lining in that for now, is that there was none of that, which was good. And the next thing that happened, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Caitlyn Jenner is running for governor of California. I think California can only have celebrities be governors. You think about it, they had Ronald Reagan, they had they had Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now they have Caitlyn Jenner who's running for governor. Pretty interesting. So we'll see what happens with all that. But the recall,
man, I really wish we could get experts doing these jobs, not celebrities.
No. Yeah, that would be very good. Like actually good at business.
Adam, that would make too much sense. What are you talking about?
So Adam, this is fascinating. I'm curious your take on this. We talk about some of these things from time to time. I'm fascinated by social media because of what it's done, good and bad. In some ways it's cleaned up things, like, like I've said before, the Indy 500 is no longer a big weekend party. It's actually now a family friendly event because nobody wants to be caught, flipping cars over and setting them on fire and walking down the street topless on Twitter. So it's cleaned that up, but it's also had the opposite effect. That happened, I'm telling you. But it also has the opposite effect, I think, for politicians who in the past never worried about their public or personal brand, who now seem like they, on both sides, have to uphold this brand, this public persona on social media that one kind of forces them to continue to be divisive, and kind of go to their camps and shout out their rah-rahs. But it also on the other side too is like, I don't know. It's just different now that politicians to me are celebrities. They're really, they just weren't celebrities like they were, or today. They weren't.
Yeah. And Ronald Reagan was a celebrity, but at the same time, he also knew about organizing and community. He knew about the hard work it took to build coalitions, and he understood the value of not inflaming the political discourse in the quest towards getting a result born out of compromise. And there's nothing wrong with compromise.
Before he became president, right? He was in government for a while. He wasn't an actor, but
when he came to California as the governor, he was seen as one of the celebrity guys at the time. But what happened really, he was really more involved in the political sphere than most people realized with his work at the SAG. I think he was the SAG president for a long time. And what comes with that is management experience from a leadership place. And so I think, Caitlyn Jenner, as a celebrity, where's her management experience? I don't consider managing the Kardashians as management experience.
That might be a tough job, though. That might be quite the chore. I don't
know. You never know. Maybe I'm not giving her enough credit here.
Publications there is right now.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being a celebrity and getting, using social media to bring awareness to yourself. But in the quest of attention for attention's sake, where I think some of these politicians end up being, where they're ineffective at creating coalitions because you end up disenfranchising potential people who you can collectively have goodwill, because we need to start, being more community driven and open-handed, not divisive. And I think we're going to get more done because at the end of the day, 90% we agree on, 90% we agree on, and we can work on compromises. If we get to a place where instead of being absolutists, and we understand that getting 80% of government to give what 80% of American wants is actually good, and that absolutism is the enemy of progress, then we'll actually helping each other move forward. And so I'm okay with Caitlyn Jenner running. I hope it doesn't become some sort of documentary to raise her own bank account.
Right. Anybody can run. That's totally true. But I'll say this, no matter what you think about the second President Bush, if you read, decision points, one of the things you read about is when he was a governor, how he would work with the Democrats. They would go to dinner, like that kind of camaraderie and friendship. It almost seems like it's impossible to even have that now because of God forbid somebody snaps a picture of you with the enemy and puts it on Twitter, your public persona is gone. And, it's just like this, it's just unhealthy in many ways. But so that'll be entertaining to watch. We'll see what happens. We'll see how much that Kardashian management experience comes into play. Maybe that'll be your platform. Hey, listen, I manage the Kardashians, so surely I can manage California. It's not that hard.
Hey, that's true. I mean, you could be the manager, Trey. You might want to reach out to them, dude.
Maybe that's the platform message. Hey, the Kardashians are still alive. I mean, come on, give me a shot. Give me a shot. 2028 presidential race is going to be Caitlyn Jenner versus Kanye West. That's what it's going to be. That's where we're headed with that.
Boy, come on.
Don't say that, Trey.
Come on.
Just put that in the universe if that actually happens.
You're starting to sound like the writer from Futurama. And
you never know. In sad news, this week, Alex Smith retired. Alex Smith, who had made a comeback, who was obviously the comeback player of the year last year in the NFL, who came back and played after almost losing his leg after a very serious injury, compound fracture in his leg. He's going to retire. I think he's going to get obviously a lot of opportunities to coach if he would like to. Very smart. Probably most well known though before the comeback as being the quarterback that gets replaced. He was replaced by Colin Kaepernick. And then he got replaced by Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. And then he basically got replaced by the quarterbacks in Washington. I mean, he got replaced by his leg. Ron Rivera even said he admitted, I was nervous about putting you in. Like, what happens if you go in and something happens again? And I'm the guy that puts you in the game. Like, they just were nervous about him playing. So it's probably a good thing that he retired. He got back full mobility, so now he can live a great life, which is great. He's probably going to get opportunities to coach like crazy. But I was personally kind of sad as a Chiefs fan because he really kind of resurrected the Chiefs. He came in when they were losers, turned them into winners, and then also tutored Patrick Mahomes to become, obviously Patrick Mahomes was good anyways, but Patrick Mahomes would say that Alex Smith was the reason that he became a great quarterback so quickly in the NFL. So
the documentary on him on ESPN is fascinating. I cannot wait for the movie about his comeback. What's happening.
That documentary was sick in multiple ways, both gruesome, but also just really cool.
Did you guys watch the Vic one last night?
That 30 for 30 on Vic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that a while ago.
That's pretty good, man. It replayed last night. Yeah,
it was a good.
I have not watched that. I'm going to need to watch that at some point.
I love just his contrition and true just comeback. Alex reminded me a lot about that. But guys that just love the game, but also love themselves enough to put in the work to come back, because that's what it takes.
Oh, it's crazy. We all love a comeback story. I mean, that's probably one of the best stories of sports is a comeback story. And some of those are pretty tremendous. If Tiger comes back and wins again, I'm just telling you, it's going to be another great story if he comes back from what he's doing. But anyways, moving on from that. So SpaceX this week launched 4 astronauts to the International Space Center in a reusable capsule, reusable rockets. So showing that they can take those capsules and rockets and use them again and sent forward into space in a pretty comfy looking ship. Actually, things have changed quite a bit. So pretty fascinating. Here's the 4 astronauts. I don't have their names in front of me. Sorry about that. But I watched their
suits are hilarious.
I know the suits have changed.
They're awesome. They look nice, but they also look like, I don't know, like
I almost feel like they need a tie. Like if they put a tie on that, like that would be really sharp. Put a little tie there, maybe just put it on. But it's better than like they used to carry around the oxygen, or used to have the big holes in their suits for that kind of stuff. So definitely changed.
We're going back to the moon.
50 years.
That was the
moon.
The Challenger documentary. That was a good documentary. I don't know.
That one was good as well. Yeah, that was good for sure.
Finally woke up again. We're going to the moon.
All right. So in some sad news, Shock G from the band Digital Underground, unfortunately passed away at age 57. So in honor of that, I'm going to play a little Humpty dance here while we talk about that. So this is the picture. Here's another one. This is probably the one that I remember the most from the music video from MTV back in the days. And again, this is another one that, most of us could probably, do the whole song by the underground. I'll drink up all the Hennessy you got on your shelf. So just let me introduce myself. My name is Humpty. I mean, it's just right there. So,
I love it, Trey. That's amazing, man, dude.
Sad news about Shock G. Couldn't believe that. And that is on the heels, everybody. That is on the heels of us losing DMX, which is also obviously very sad news. That was pretty.
Did you see? This one came up this morning, but I saw that there's on Daily Wire that the Dems are passing vote to make Washington D.C. its own state.
I did see that. Yes.
I saw that as well, and I'm genuinely curious as to why the push. I honestly don't know. I
Two
share
senators. That's why the push.
No, I know, but I share no opinion on this whatsoever. I'm just genuinely curious as to why now.
I think it's been in play for a long time. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
what's the reason? Like, what would
I don't
would
think
come out
it's
of it?
new.
It's
I mean, you
Yeah,
want
it's
my
definitely not
hot
new.
tinfoil hat theory? Like, I can certainly give you that.
Okay, I'm like I said, I shared no.
Arlington National Cemetery is a part of the district, so you need all the voters in there. So of course they would push that.
Oh, here we go. God, I love you, Bain, so much.
Thank you.
Is Arlington Seminary really in the district? It's in Virginia.
No,
Is
it's
it still-
in Virginia.
I was gonna say, like, okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something there. I was like, wait.
And maybe it was my own ignorance, but I always thought that they had political representation, or does it not go any higher?
don't.
Than
I think they have 3 in Congress. They have 3 representatives, House of Representatives. They don't have
Okay.
senators.
So the push would be so that's the only reason then is they want 2 senators.
A
Push is
couple of
for two
reasons as far as the way they can
senators.
manage like funds and things for the
Okay.
city. So there, there's political reasons. Absolutely. There's some sort of pragmatic reasons that give new funds to different, the citizens there, new protections,
Okay.
things like that. But other than that, largely it's political for 2 senators, 100%.
Because I saw it. I didn't research it at all. I saw it come across the feed this morning was all.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason why DC was not a state originally, why it was a district of Columbia instead, is because all the money from the states flows into the district. And if you have people in the district who are a part of the establishment or part of the decision making who are receiving the funds, there's a little bit of a conflict of interest and all that. So that was one of the original reasons why that was the case, was to try to keep some separate and obviously when the District of Columbia was created, there were like 100 people that lived there. And now there's obviously significantly more from a population standpoint who live there as a result. So anyways, yeah, that's a push. Sorry, I didn't put that in pictures. I should have put that in pictures. So I have to say, just going back to DMX real quick. So Party Up song, this is literally the song that like a lot of teachers in the school that I taught and would use whenever they were like literally going crazy, when the kids were just nuts. I worked in Raytown School District, which is a highly diverse district where I grew up in that district. And so this song was like, if the kids are getting out of hand, we would basically just lose my mind up in here. Y'all gonna make me lose all out.
I was literally listening to this in the carpool
here.
lane this
Y'all
morning
gonna
with my
make
son.
me
We got some looks.
up in here. I didn't hear what you said. I'm singing.
It's a great song.
I know.
Lose my
Trey.
cool.
You're talking over me. I get it.
Yeah, that's how it works around here. It's my show, man. Come on.
Back off.
All right, into some other news real quick to finish off. This was the best one of the week right here.
Oh, I love this.
A couple planned their wedding at a mansion and did not tell the owner, sent out invitations, and literally showed up the day of the wedding. The owner's like, get off my property. The guy in the story said that he thought it was a vacant property for sale and that they were just going to sneak on and have the wedding.
So fun. So awesome.
The guy should have let him do it, right? Like,
do what?
The guy should have let him do it. They have that many people show up like, okay, at this point, fine, have your day.
Well, he did come off kind of as a jerk, unfortunately, in the story, because he called the police and whatnot. He could have just said, hey, yeah, come on in, and who knows, but I don't know. But
heaven forbid the guy calls the cops when a bunch of strangers show up at your house. Fuck him, right?
Yeah, darn that. Whoa,
what a jerk.
Been more generous with their
He must have been a Trump supporter.
There's plenty of room. Look at the lawn over here. He's got plenty of room. He could have put him out back. They could have had it. Would have been fine. But I thought that was pretty funny. Like, who has the balls to do that, to literally send out invitations?
I love the
invite
initiative
people
on their part. I love the initiative on their part.
So good.
It's in Florida. What do you expect? Come on.
That's true. Good point.
Right?
100%.
Solid point.
That's South Florida.
Right there, Florida mansion.
If you read the story, the guy actually came to the house when it was listed as a prospective buyer to scout out the property, and in doing so thought that it was a vacant property that he would be able to host his wedding. So pretty comical in that regard, but something fun and a good note to end on today. A little bit of humor there in that regard. So if you're a part of wedding planning, make sure you tell the owner of the facility that you plan to use it. That's the lesson learned in that. Pretty solid. Anybody do anything fun this weekend? Anybody anything good?
We're in lockdown, so no.
Juan, come on, you're gonna do something fun, man.
Actually, Trey, this is I'm going to be calling on the group again. So we are doing our annual Pressing the Pieces Together for Autism benefit meet tomorrow.
Nice.
I'll put a link on LinkedIn if people want to share that just to get donations in. This goes directly to the Autism Society of America. My family benefits directly from this, so it's a big deal. On top of all that, the stream is going to be dope. We have 3 women who will bench press over 500 pounds.
Love it.
What?
We have a
Awesome.
97 pound
Individually?
woman who will bench close to 400. And we have one of my best friends in the world, Barzim Vaziri, will be attempting a 1,003-pound bench press.
What?
Okay, I want to
No.
see this. Put the
And on
link
top
in.
of that, there will be 2 young people, Jacob and Alice, whose dad owns the gym. Alice will be doing her very first meet. She is 5 years old, and she is awesome.
Bain,
Who else feels like a total loser hearing that
Me.
rundown? Oh my
me, but I
gosh.
want to donate. Bain, do you have a
You need to do
Venmo
some push-ups.
set up for this, where I can send you some money?
I will be pushing the link onto LinkedIn, and then if folks want to share that out, that would be super.
Hey,
Yeah.
put it in the chat
Awesome.
if you can, or
Yeah.
send it to me later, and
I'll
I'll
send
put
you
it
some money right
along with
now
this as
for it. I
well.
wanna
But yeah,
donate.
that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah,
That's
for
really
sure.
cool.
That's awesome. Bang.
Thank you for sharing that thing. I'm actually getting a little taking my wife to Dallas. We got some client activities in Dallas this
Super
weekend,
spreader.
but my wife
That's
gets to
my
tag
that's
along.
my neck of the woods,
Super
Trey.
spreader.
Where are you in Dallas?
I'm Frisco, Texas, just a little bit north of Dallas.
Oh, then you need to come. We need to invite you. You're welcome. You're gonna come. Yeah, absolutely. I'll talk to you afterwards. You're
Give me a
in.
text, dude.
If you're available on Saturday night, man, you're in. Be
Yeah, you
great.
gotta be careful about your travel schedule, man. You're all over the place right now. You are the problem. Okay.
I am the super spreader.
You super spreader.
I had
Call
to
me
say it.
vaccinated.
I had to say it.
I am the super spreader. That is me. Hey, listen, I'm wearing a mask all the time, right? I'm staying away.
Yeah,
You know, everything's been good. I've been tested twice, negative every time, feeling great.
Come to Arizona, guys. It's back to normal. You're all welcome.
We
I'm
cured
going
it in
to Houston
Texas.
next week.
It's
That's right.
It's cured in Texas.
It's right. It's gone. But it's guys like me that come in that mess up the problem. That's the issue.
right.
That's what's going
You
on.
are the problem. God damn.
All right, everybody.
At this rate, I'm feeling about a vacation from Colombia. See if everything
You
comes
should.
back
You
to
should
normal
definitely
in a
come to the
few
States,
years.
Juan. No doubt about it. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining us on World on the
Hey,
Street,
guys.
powered by
I'll
Lean
see you
Solutions
guys.
Group.
Thanks for having us.
Peace.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Horns.
Yes.